I'm just going to tell you a story about one time when I was staying with some family in Mexico. So we'd decided to go out to see my friend play in a symphony for the evening, and we went and saw his performance, and then when we were coming back to the house, we realized that we were locked out of the house. We had no way to get in, so we had to wait outside for several hours, just hoping that somebody would finally get back and come let us in. Didn't have a phone or any way to contact anyone, so it's kind of waiting out there as it's starting to pour rain and just getting to be at the middle of the night and hoping somebody would eventually come home. So eventually my friend got home from playing in the symphony, and he was able to let us into the house, and we'd been kind of wondering while we'd been waiting out there where the husband of the family was and why he wasn't able to let us in. So when we got inside the house, we actually looked around for him just to make sure he was all right and wondering where he was. And we eventually found that he was actually locked outside of the house in the backyard the whole time that we were locked outside in the front. So it was pretty funny, but worked out in the end.
All right, you only had 3 errors.
Okay.
Volume was pretty solid. I did give you back heel.
All right.
What was the time?
About a minute and 20
I
seconds.
just want to say, yeah, I loved your smile. It was really awesome. You had a really interesting story, and that just keeps the audience captivated if you're smiling and your hand gestures were nice. So yeah, good job.
Okay.
Part of the story, you actually moved from one idea to another idea, and you actually systematically moved from one place to the other following that idea. So it was nice. It was very in sync with how you were explaining the story.
Anything positive to say?
So yeah, that's pretty much the main thing I saw was exactly what Ola said. You did the body movement. You moved in the what's it called, the triangle. So that's very good. Your eye contact, you did have eye contact, which is good. You could vary a little more, but it's still, you had very good eye contact. Your hand gestures, they weren't varied, but you had them. So that's good because that's on the end. You put your hands in your pocket, and you didn't do that during the speech. You kept them up and moved them. So that's good.
Okay.
Okay, what can she improve on? Unless you have another positive thing. William?
I was going to say, you did have, I'm glad, I think you're just nervous when you started off and you weren't moving as much, but just when you're nervous, oddly enough, moving actually helps you a lot more because it gets you moving and you're like, oh, okay, I'm all right. Let's see what else. Your pauses, just do that and vary your tone a little bit. You're explaining everything very well. You can vary it a lot more and emphasize certain things.
A good way to think about varying your tone is punctuating like a particular part of your speech. Like when you were stuck outside, you could probably sound a little bit sad about that particular point, and then when you got in, pretty happy.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can say, "Man, we were stuck." No, exaggerated, but the idea is if you can make your words sound like what the actions are, it makes the story for us a lot more interesting, and we're able to live with this experience.
Exactly, and to synchronize off of that also with their facial expressions. Yes, it was good that you smiled the whole entire time, like Justin said, but also with how you say things, that will change your facial expression, almost naturally. Okay. So that is a 1-2 punch, I guess. But very good job.
Leonardo?
Yep. So I want to tell a story about